Salutations gamers, Bazil here, once again. Welcome to PvP Breakdown. This is the finally, oh my gosh, look out for the Mesmer. Alright, we're going to follow him just a little bit here. I want to kind of show you guys where the real one is and where the real one is not. So just kind of follow this and just kind of watch really closely. There's not much really happening other than the Mesmer just kind of going away. Cool. That's not the real one either. Now, I just want to show you that real quick. So, anyway, guys, welcome to PvP Breakdown. I'm excited. Words cannot describe how excited I am for this new series to finally kick off. Once the game is actually finally live now, and we have a fight coming up here real quick here. The real Mesmer, you can actually tell which ones is real because of the weapons they're holding. He's holding a sword and a torch offhand. That was a great sword ability right there. Illusionary Wave pushes your foes back, all of your foes back, in a magical wave of energy. So any foes you have in front of you, if you're a Mesmer and you have a great sword, you whip that thing around you and it just goes woof, and everything pretty much just goes haywire and goes away. As you can see right there, the Elementalist did drop down Ring of Fire as well, but we're going to be focusing a little bit more on the Mesmer as well. It is a great sword Mesmer, just kind of really kind of watch which Mesmer you're doing right there. This is going to be called Mind Stab. Thrust your great sword into the ground, dealing damage to your foe and removing a buff on your foe. Very useful, especially if you're fighting a thief or a guardian. Another good time to use that is also fighting another Mesmer. But I did just steal some of the Mesmer's abilities, so I gain every single boon for about 10 or so seconds, and that really helps me deal with the Mesmer. The Mesmer is just such a pain in the ass. They really are. One thing I want to note here is this huge ring right here that you're seeing. That was another Elementalist ability. Both of those guys disappear. They did just get in range of the mass invisibility that the Mesmer did use. And the Mesmer is gone, so it unfortunately leaves the Elementalist to kind of fend for herself here. I'm really trying to get her in there, and unfortunately I am dazed just a little bit, which kind of causes me to, or not dazed, confused, which really causes me to do a lot of just interesting bad stuff to myself. I do weapon swap there. Another ability that the Elementalist is using is Rock Barrier. Shield yourself with rocks, and then you can actually fire the rocks at your opponent. This is a really cool ability. It's really useful, especially if you're fighting a heavy melee class like the Thief or Warrior, sometimes a Ranger as well. But I swapped to my pistol dagger because it's a really good kiting tool and a really good tool to kind of kill your opponent if they are running around. Switching back here on the Mesmer, that's not the real Mesmer, actually. Now I did just target onto the real Mesmer. I want to show you something really close. If you watch really closely in this next part here, you're going to be seeing something called the Illusionary Leap right there. Those two big bleeps right there is the Illusionary Leap. Summon an illusion, and then you leap at your target, crippling them. Now, what's really confusing is after you leap, you can actually come back to your target. But I'm actually going to reverse this for you so you can see it. Just kind of watch right there. See, as you can see, it created two copies of itself, and then it actually leaped onto the other target. So right now, the real Mesmer is pretty easy to spot. Obviously, that one's not real, and then it gets a little bit tougher as the clones and illusions do spawn. But the real one always is going to have each offhand weapon as it's actually an offhand weapon. So you can see the torch there. You can see her actually having that offhand weapon. So the real Mesmer is going to be easy to spot, but that decoy ability that the Mesmer uses is really useful because she can stealth and then get away really quick. It only lasts for 3 seconds, but it's a really good ability of just kind of leaving yourself completely open to a surprise attack. There again, once again, is the real Mesmer. Again, with that weapon in hand, she is using a torch again. Sword torch it's a pretty good weapon combination. That Mesmer has a great sword and a sword torch for the weapon sets. We're really trying to focus her in. It's becoming more and more difficult. She's doing a really good job of kind of trying to confuse us on where we actually are. There is the real one. We're going to finally take her down, and that's going to be that, and we're going to be able to cap this point, which is really useful. So I finally found a Thief build that actually works. I was very happy with this Thief build. I have a good number of HP. I have a lot of just kind of everywhere abilities that can go a lot of different places. Again, the Mesmer's up there. This is actually the same Mesmer. This match, we actually do a really, really good job of just kind of keeping the middle. The middle is like one of those points that's really, really important. Again, there she did just use one of her decoy abilities and completely negated any damage that I would have actually done to her. So very, very nice job there on the Mesmer. That is not the real one. The real one is actually jumping off the cliff. As you can tell, she has her torch and her sword in her hand and kind of equipping that. The next thing I want to show you is how a Mesmer is in the down state. The down state is really, really confusing as if you're playing against a Mesmer. The Mesmer will go down here. You can see that the real one has that little small triangle, red triangle, at the top of her. Right here, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to pause it real quick here. There's the red triangle, and one of her abilities actually allows her to create an image of herself and completely go somewhere else. So you think that that's the real one. You always want to make sure that you're doing the finish move on the one with the small red skull looking triangle above their head, or they will duke you just like they duked me right there. So just kind of keep that in mind. The next portion I'm going to speed up just a little bit here because it is kind of long and I just kind of dance around and whatnot. No, I'm sorry. Wrong. That comes up in a little bit here. Elementalist is going to try and take us on 1 versus 2. Probably not the smartest idea because she is facing a Thief and an and a Mesmer, and that's just, it's not really going to end well for her, unfortunately. She is going to use her Ride the Lightning ability, and I'm not sure exactly why it doesn't move her anywhere, but she's going to use it, and she kind of just stays still. Normally this ability will charge them across the map, Ride the Lightning. Anything struck within the lightning path will actually get struck by electricity and do quite a lot of damage, actually. But this is a really good escape tool for the Elementalist. I'm not quite sure why she actually stood there. She wasn't immobilized. She wasn't anything for that matter. Another thing here, this is that churned earth I'm talking about. Watch how close this is to its cast. She dies just as that becomes just on the edge of the red line. That's just so close for the Elementalist to get that churned earth down there. That was very, very close. You can always tell if Elementalist is casting that ability because it's going to be a very, very wide area, and the rocks on the side, as soon as they hit almost to the red area, it's going to explode and do a bunch of damage and do a lot of bleeding damage and cripple you as well. So going to fast forward this just a little bit there just to kind of speed up the process. This is at like 500-600 speed. Going to be opening up here on this rogue Thief. Thief just used Shadow Step. You can Shadow Step quite far, and if you use the Shadow Return ability, you're going to remove 3 conditions on yourself. This is one of the moves I use. It is amazing. Let me tell you, when you're fighting a Guardian or a Condition Elementalist or Mesmer, it'll save your life more than once. It is really, really nice. The Thief, I believe, is going to get away. Yep, the Thief is going to get away and live to fight another day. But as you can see, we're doing a really, really good job of just keeping the middle on this graveyard. Again, here, another Thief here is coming up here, but my Mesmer friend has him. No problem. I'm going to stay in the middle and just kind of make sure that no one else comes up there. I believe that's an Elementalist there. I couldn't see the icon. My apologies. The Elementalist is kind of thinking, should I engage? Should I not? Right now, it probably would not be the best for her to engage here, but she is going to engage with her Mesmer friend. So we are facing a Mesmer and an Elementalist. There you go. There was a Illusionary Wave again, and Ride the Lightning once again. And it's going to be my Elementalist buddy and myself. So it's going to be a Mesmer versus a Mesmer Thief versus a Mesmer Elementalist. As you notice, I'm dodging around a lot, and that's because my spec really kind of allows me to do that. I have a lot of endurance. Again, here comes that churned earth there once again. You hold this, it takes for roughly 3 to 4 seconds to cast, and once it actually casts, it's a huge AoE. It boom spikes everywhere, and you deal so much damage, bleeding and crippling your foe there. And right there, that mass invisibility once again that the Mesmer used, very, very nice kind of ult there to stop the other Mesmer from actually casting on her, which was really, really nice. Now, the Char Mesmer right there is actually using sword, I believe. Yes, he has a sword, or sword pistol, one of the two. I wasn't able to actually identify because there was just so much going on in this fight. If you guys can identify that for me, that'd be awesome. But there's just a lot going on in the fight. I'm making sure to really dodge and just kind of continuously move, picking off the targets that are really, really necessary. Like the Elementalist is probably one of the main targets as if you're playing a Thief, because they're squishy, you do a lot of damage to them, and if you're spec'd right, they can't get away from you as easily as they normally could. So we are able to take out some Elementalist here. I am going to be able to finish her off, not a problem. Then we're going to switch targets to the Char Mesmer, which the Char Mesmer, the real one right now is, I believe, the one with the staff. Yes, it is. The real one is the one with the staff right now because he is having all those boons and condition on. That's also another way to tell which Mesmer is real. Is if a Mesmer has a lot of boons on it, that's always going to be the real Mesmer. The illusions will never have a boon on it whatsoever, so just kind of keep that in mind. As you can see, the enemy team is a very heavy Mesmer team. That's why there's like 60 people on the battlefield all at once. I did use Shadow Step. I do have Shadow Return right now. As you can see, I have 2 conditions on me right now. My Shadow Return is about to go, and I'm going to use it to completely wipe myself clean of all the conditions that I have on me right now. The next thing I really want to kind of point out is this Chaos Armor. If you see a Mesmer use Chaos Armor, you need to stop attacking it and go do something else. Either try and kite it or something, because each time you attack it, you're going to get a random condition on you, and the Mesmer is going to get a random boon, which is a random buff. So just keep that in mind. Another thing I really want to show here is a downstate. If you're a Guardian, Wave of Light, probably one of the coolest downstate abilities in the game. It will literally push back anyone around it that is a enemy, NPCs, players, pets, anything. It'll just push them back. And another thing here, if you're a thief, use your Shadow Refuge to revive someone. It'll stealth both of you. This will make you guys untargetable for the duration of the stealth. If you stay in it for longer than 3 seconds, you will have a 5-second stealth afterwards. So you could actually revive 2 people if you stay in this long enough. And as you can see, it actually gives us a long enough time to finally revive it and just kind of finish out the team. As you can see, my Guardian friend is doing a really good job here, and also my Thief friend here is doing a good job too. It just kind of helping clean up. The Guardian, again, is doing a really nice job at just really breaking down everything. So, alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm so glad to be back. God bless, take care, see you on the battlefield next episode.